Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. This is Robert at Scott Leroy Marketing. We're going to get started with our overview of accounts and apps and PieSync within Command. Before we get started, there's a couple of things to get out of the way. This class is brand new, brand spanking new. It's the first time we've done it. So if there's anything that I miss, anything that you're unclear on, anything you want more details about, definitely send those over to me in the chat window, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. This class is being recorded just like all of our other advanced training classes, and you can find that at slmtraining.com. So S is in Scott, L is in Leroy, M is in marketing, training.com. That's got links to all of our advanced training classes, website, Command, all the stuff that you can do beyond the regular MyKW Academy. And then if you'd rather listen in on your phone instead of your computer speakers, there's a number that's been flashing by on the screen every couple of seconds that you can call in with a code, and then it would let you listen on your phone instead of your computer speakers. So as we get started, if you'll look up near the top of your screen here, you should have the same 5 buttons that I do. If you'll click on this one just to the left of center, that's the chat icon. It looks like a speech bubble here. That's going to open up the chat window, and this is where you can send me questions on anything you need clarification on or anything I skipped or something like that. I will be monitoring that throughout the class. In fact, I may even move it up here onto my other screen. For the time being, let's get that shrunk down and go get into Command. So if you're not familiar with how to access Command yet, it's very simple. You'll go to agent.kw.com. So agent like you're a real estate agent, .kw.com. Very similar to mykw.kw.com. Agent.kw.com, and you're going to log in using the exact same username and password that you use for mykw.kw.com, and also for Kelly and the KW app and KW video and KW mortgage and all of those things. They all use the exact same username and password. So you're going to log into agent.kw.com. Now, there have been 2 cases out of thousands of agents where we've seen that for whatever reason that page doesn't work. If that doesn't show you the correct login page, or if it doesn't take you into Command after you log in, you can also go to login.command.kw.com. That's just a lot more to type, but it does take you to the same place if you get logged in there. So here from the Command homepage, this is your dashboard where you can see and access everything within Command. The first thing you'll want to do is click on Accept Cookies down here at the bottom right. That is going to pop up each and every time you log into Command. It's a GDPR regulation from the European Union. You have to have that in there, so they have to show that button every time you log in. So you'll have to dismiss that every time. And then you can see the support and the chat button down here at the bottom. But instead of that, we're actually going to go up in the very top right and click on your name. And then in the menu that drops down, we'll click on Settings here. Now here in Settings, by default, it's going to be on Applications. That's at the top of the menu here. You can access other things through the settings in here, including your marketing profile and wiping your database and things like that. But we're going to focus on this page in this class. There's a good bit of information to go through here. It's not super complicated, but it does require a little bit of explanation here. So this first one that's listed here, this Facebook for post scheduling, that's pretty obvious. You're going to connect it to your Facebook account to schedule posts to show on your business page from within Command. You don't have to log into Facebook to post those. Viewer 20 says, I can't hear anything. Is there anybody else who can't hear anything? I see Viewer 20 says they can't hear. If you're having trouble hearing, you'll probably want to call in using your phone rather than trying to use your computer speakers, because I can't hear I don't see anybody else having any issues there. If there is anyone else having issues, definitely let me know there in the chat window. Okay, so for post scheduling, this is for you connect Facebook here, and you can actually compose posts to show on your Facebook business page here within Command, and that's in a different section, but we're going to just connect the account here. And there's actually 2 different connections for Facebook. We'll get to that in just a minute. Viewer 14 says they can hear. So Viewer 20, it sounds like the issue is going to be on your end. In fact, there we go. Okay, so in order to connect Facebook here to Command, there's a pretty self-explanatory button over here on the right. It says Connect Account, and we're going to be clicking this button for a lot of different things here. So let's click on that for Facebook first. Now it's going to ask you to log into your Facebook account. Oops, I just dropped something off my desk. Oops. Nobody email me personally. I am going to ignore it and mark it as spam. Okay, so after you get logged in, it's going to ask Keller Williams API would like to manage your ads and manage your business. Bottom left red phone icon button. Yeah, anyway. So would like to manage your ads and manage your business. And you can narrow that down if you want. You can choose either just ads or just business, or you can do both. For the vast majority of cases, unless you're really, really paranoid and you know what you're doing, you want to leave these both on. If you don't know what each of these is, or if you don't know the difference, or if you don't care, definitely leave them both on. So we'll click on OK down here at the bottom right. So then it's going to reload that. It's going to give you, it's going to ask you to choose which page do you want to manage here through Command. And you do only have the option of managing one page from Facebook here inside Command. So you'll want to choose whichever one is the correct one. And apparently that doesn't do anything there, but you'll click this radio button here. I don't want to manage this SLM demo, or actually, yes, I do, sorry. I do want to manage the SLM demonstration page here. The Green Street Imagining is an old photography thing that I tried very shortly. So we'll select the page that we want to manage. If you do have multiple pages, unfortunately, there's not an option to add multiple pages here in Command for you to manage. If you want to do multiple pages and post things to more than one page at once, or manage different pages within the same account, you'll probably want to look into something like Hootsuite, Hoot like an owl, Suite like a hotel room, so HOOTSUITE. That'll help you connect multiple social media accounts and different pages to that account, and you can post to all of those from within there. But in Command, you can only connect one Facebook page. So we'll click that Connect button there. So now it lets me know that the SLM demonstration page is connected to my Command here. It's listed under Connected Apps. And if I went over to, where is it here? We may have to go look for it later. There's a section where you can post to your Facebook page, or maybe it's through something else, but you'll be able to post to your Facebook page here within Command. It's the same process here for Twitter. You can schedule posts to go into your Twitter account. These are not ads, these are just regular posts. So we would just click Account, and we're going to log into Twitter. So, didn't I create, hold on. Forgot the account here. Okay, so maybe I don't have an account there. So let me try clicking this again. I'm going to connect it to my personal account just for giggles. There we go. Okay, so once you get logged into Twitter, you're going to have the option there to authorize app, and that is the only option you can choose if you want to be able to post to Twitter from here within Command. So we'll click on that blue authorize app button. And then that's just connected, it'll post to that Twitter account. Now, from my understanding, Twitter doesn't have like a separate business page you can create from within your Twitter personal account. You actually have to create an entirely separate account with a separate email address in order to have a business page. But you can create business pages, business accounts, I guess, in Twitter. So you do that separate from your regular Twitter if you wanted to have that connected here to Command. Under that, for productivity here, we've got a number of options, and we'll just start at the top again. Google Calendar, the create meetings is a little bit misleading currently. Eventually, you'll be able to add things to your calendar from within Command, but right now, the only thing it can do is look at your calendar. It can only read what's already there that you've added through calendar.google.com. So let's click on Connect Account right here. And what this will do is you can ask Kelly, what are my upcoming appointments, or what's on my calendar, or when is my next meeting with so-and-so who's a contact in your database. Those kinds of things Kelly can show you based on your your Google Calendar here. Now you can connect your KW email here. You can connect any other Google account. If you've got maybe Google G Suite through your custom domain or just a regular gmail.com account, any Google account can be connected here. So I'm going to connect my KW email. And it's going to do my two-step verification here. Yes, I'm trying to sign in. There we go. And then it's going to ask whether you want Keller Cloud to be able to view your calendars. And you do notice that it only says view. It's not going to manage them. It's not going to edit them currently. Eventually, it should be able to. But right now, the only thing it can do is look at your calendars. And you can expand this out using the little eye icon over on the right. So we're going to allow that. So now that that's connected, eventually, it'll let me know this is the account that's connected through Google Calendar. So I could go over to Kelly and say, what's on my schedule, or what's my next appointment, or what am I doing tomorrow, things like that. And she can show you this is what's on your Google Calendar. And eventually, someday, don't know when, but someday, you'll be able to add events to your calendar. And then you'll also be able to, I believe, if you go into a contacts record and you have a meeting scheduled with that contact, with their email address that's in their contact information, it'll show that within the contact from your Google Calendar. And we can look at that in just a little bit as well. Under that, for productivity, we've got eEdge here. What this is supposed to be and is not currently, so make sure you're very clear on that. eEdge, the sync here, is supposed to automatically bring over your contacts from your eEdge database with all of their information, and then, from what I understand, all of their groups as tags here into Command. Currently, as of May 15th, 2019, that is not working. Okay, so we can connect this, we can try to get it to do it, but it's not working. It'll allow you to make the connection, but it won't actually bring those contacts over. And if it does, it's not bringing over all the pertinent information. So we'll just go ahead and click on Connect Account just to show you what that looks like. So all this information is going to automatically be in here. You don't have to type anything in. You don't have to really choose a market center or anything. You just click on the Synchronize Your eEdge contacts across Keller Cloud. And it'll say it's connected, and theoretically, maybe eventually someday, once Command actually gets this capability, it'll bring over those contacts from eEdge to Command. But right now, it just sits there as an item in the list. It doesn't actually bring those contacts over the correct way. Under that, we've got the Gmail connection here, and this is, you can connect this to the same account as your Google Calendar, or you can connect it to a different account if you want, if that's the email address that you're going to be sending messages to and from your contacts through. So what this does is you connect it to Gmail, and it's going to look at the email address that's in your contacts here in Command, and if you've sent any messages to that email address inside Gmail, it'll list those messages in that contacts record. And I'll show you what that looks like in just a little bit as well. But let's go ahead and get that connected here. I'm going to connect account, and I'm just going to log into my same KW email account. It's going to give you the option of signing into the one that you already signed into, or you can sign into a different account if you want to. I am going to use the one that's already been signed in. Do we want to allow these things? Read, compose, send, and permanently delete all your email from Gmail. That sounds kind of scary, but it's actually really not going to use those kinds of things unless you specifically tell it to. In fact, I'm not even sure right now it has access to do all these things beyond you giving it permission here. I don't even know if there's a button anywhere in Command that would allow you to delete or anything, or even send messages from within Command. And if that button does exist, definitely let me know there in the chat window, because I'd like to know that. Mostly what it's going to do here is view your email messages and settings. So it's going to pull over, so say I've got a contact named John Smith in my database here. I've sent an email to johnsmith@gmail.com. In Command, it will show me that message that I had already sent to johnsmith@gmail.com. So we are going to allow this here. which apparently may take a minute. There we go. Once we get reloaded, now we've got some additional connected apps. We'll keep scrolling down here. Twilio is for sending mass text messages to your database. Now, this is not a free service. This is something that you would need to pay for, but through KW, you get a little bit of a discount. So it's, X amount fractions of a penny in order to send a message to one person. So say it's, 3/10 of a penny to send a message to one person. If you send 10 messages, that's 3 pennies. So it's going to cost 3 cents to send a message to 10 people. So if you send it to 100 people, it's going to cost 30 cents. And that number, I just pulled it out of the air. That may not actually be the number. But let's go ahead and try connecting this here. If you already have a Twilio account, that may work against you just a little bit, because what it's going to do when we click on Connect Account here is ask you to create a Twilio account. So it's going to ask for name. It is going to ask for credit card number, because remember, this is not a free service that KW is providing for you, but it is allowing I believe a little bit of a discount. It doesn't say that specifically here, but I do think it's giving you a little bit of a discount. So you'd fill all that out there, email address, password, and all that. And there is a thing down here that specifically says, when my account falls below $10, Twilio will charge my credit card $20. Charges will appear as Twilio Inc. So what happens is you load money here into Twilio. As you send messages, it'll deduct from that money that's already there in Twilio. And when that deduction starts getting below $10, it's going to add another 20. So you'll have 30. And then as it sends messages, it'll deduct that out again. And once it gets below 10, it'll charge $20 more again. So if you want to send mass text messages to all of your contacts in Command, this is how you would do that. I can't tell you how well this is working because I don't have authorization here to create an account and put a credit card in here and charge myself $20 for that. So if you have Twilio and you've gotten this connected and you've seen it working, definitely let us know. If it's not working, that would be something to direct to KW International support. We'd like to know whether it is or is not working, so tell us. But for any help with it, KW International support is going to be a resource for that. So before we move on, I want to make sure we're clear. Do we have any questions on Twilio? Remember, up at the top, we're going to click the chat button right here, and that'll open up the chat window if you have any questions about Twilio before we move. Now, as I'm waiting on those questions, I'm not 100% sure what would happen if you already had a Twilio account and you tried to sign. Oh, I'm sorry. Already have an account, log in. There we go, really obvious. You sign into your pre-existing Twilio account. So you click on that there, and it is going to be connected to KW to your command. So I'm going to try that here. What email did I use here? Yeah, there we go. What? Oh, apparently that's not my account. By the way, if you send messages to any of the emails I'm seeing, okay, it's not correct. Interesting. Okay, so we'll have to play around with that later, figure out what that looks like. So we'll close this tab here. We're going to leave Twilio unconnected, at least in my account, but if you have a Twilio account or you decided to sign up and pay for that, it would move up to that connected account section up at the top. Now, here's the big boy. Here's PieSync. So what this will do is connect to over 150 other sites, other applications, other programs, and it will automatically bring those contacts here into Command. And then based on the rules you set up, it'll actually even sync the information if you change it in Command over to those other services. So most likely what you're going to connect this to is either your email contacts or your phone contacts. And before we get too much further into that, I do want to let you know, as of, I think it's a little over a month ago, or it may have been 2 months ago. Yeah, it was 2 months ago. As of March 18th, this is no longer a 100% free thing. There's one free connection you can use, but anything after that you would need to pay for. So the way that it works is, let's click on Connect Account over here, and it'll read it out to you right here. Eventually. There we go. So you're going to choose the account you want to connect it to. So like it said, most popular here is Google Contacts. We don't necessarily want to do Outlook 365 or Outlook.com because there's actually a separate section here within Command for that. So you can save that money there. But if you've got contacts, maybe in iCloud from your phone or from your Mac computer, those can be connected there. And those are really going to be your two most popular ones. If you have additional contacts from, let's try like Zillow. Type in here. Looks like Zillow is not an option. Ooh, too many Z's. Okay, still not an option. So it looks like Zillow isn't connected here. So you may want to contact maybe KW International or PieSync to do that. But if you want to connect it to Brivity, that's an option here, or maybe Top. Let's try Top Producer. Top Producer's not in here, but we do have, you can connect it to Dotloop to bring those contacts in here. So what's happening here is you log into all of these accounts you want to connect and bring your contacts in through, and whichever one has the most contacts, the highest number of contacts, that's going to be your free sync that you can get through KW. Anything else, any other connections that you make is going to be, there's a price for that. And I believe there's a discount through KW, and I don't know what that price is. I've never been all the way through that process to look at that. But let's go ahead and clear that out, and let's connect it to Google Contacts. I'm going to connect it to my KW email contacts here. And you can connect it to whatever account you're already logged into in this browser, or you can connect it to a different account. I'm going to choose my KW email here, already connected there. And we're going to configure the sync between Google Contacts and KW Command. So usually the default settings here are going to be just fine. So we're going to bring over contacts from Google to Command, and these are the rules that it's going to follow as it brings those contacts over. So if a contact is in Google Contacts, then sync it two-way between Google Contacts and KW Command. And then we've got another rule, an additional rule down here. If his contact is in KW Command, then sync it two-way between Google Contacts and KW Command. So any contacts you have in Google would also be in Command, and then any contacts you already had in Command would also be copied over to Google based on this second rule here. So if you only want contacts from Google into Command, you would actually want to turn off the second rule here if you don't want all of your contacts also from Command going over into Google. We can also, let's see, we can add additional filters here. So you can say Google Contacts only bring over the contacts that have a certain label, or only bring over the Google Contacts that have a birthday, or only the contacts that have a certain name. So that would be like one person, or only bring over contacts that don't have a label. And you can manage all that in contacts.google.com. But we're going to leave this as just bring over all Google contacts. And we don't want to move over, I don't want to move over all my Command contacts into Google. Now down here, these connection settings, we've got a section for avoid duplicates. So we're only going to sync contacts that have an email address. So say you've got, actually, I'm a little bit unclear on how this would work. Say you've got John Smith in Google, and you've got John Smith in Command, and you manually put John Smith into Command, and this is the same person. And in Google, you've got his email address, and in Command, you only have his phone number. This setting right here is going to still keep those guys separate, because in Command, you don't have John Smith's email address, you only have his phone number. So this checkbox here is treating those as separate contacts. Now, if in Command and Google you had John Smith's email in both places, then it would copy John's phone number from Command over to Google. Okay, and if that's not clear, definitely let me know there in the chat window. Over under sync deletions, it says add your deleted command. So what would happen here is if you turn this on, if you delete a contact from Command that's also in Google, it would not really delete the contact in Google, it would move them over to a label called PieSync trash. So they'd still be in Google, but you'd be able to denote them by looking in that label. I don't want to check that box here currently. And then we've also got sync contacts to the main contacts folder in Google. So say you've got, this is kind of, two steps of connection here. Say you've got like an iPhone, and you've got it connected to your Google account where your Google contacts are syncing to your iPhone and back and forth. In order for your command contacts to also sync into your iPhone, you would need to leave this checkbox checked. So in order for Google Contacts to show on your iPhone, they need to be under the main contacts folder instead of under just a label. So if you want command contacts to also be in Google and also be on your phone, you leave this box checked. If you only want the contacts to be in command and Google and not your phone, you uncheck this box. And then lastly, when a conflicting change is detected, let it, you're telling it, okay, if, and it's kind of hard to think of an example for this, but say, let's see here. So say I'm logged into both command and Google at the same time. And in command, I changed John Smith's phone number from 123456789 to 123456780. And in Google, I changed it to 123456781. It's the same contact. It's got the email address. Those are connected here. And what would happen is with this button selected, the 7890 would replace the 7891 that's in Google. So the command would beat out Google. So if you, if there's a conflicting change, command information is going to stay. Google information is going to change to fit command by default. You can also make it go the other way. The Google information is going to beat out what's in command. And then if there's a change in command that conflicts with what's in Google, Google is going to replace it with what's already in Google. You can't turn this off. There has to be a rule here or else it would not know what to do. So it's up to you whether you want to manage contacts through command really or really manage them through Google. So it's up to you which one of those you want to select. And then down here we've got field mappings. This is fairly self-explanatory. Middle name in Google equals middle name in command. Name prefix in Google equals name prefix in command. Name suffix in Google equals name suffix in command. First name, last name, company, all of these things here. And you can even add your own custom field mapping because I believe, I may be wrong here, but I think in Google you can add your own custom fields. So you could say this custom field in Google matches this custom field in command. So let's look here, messengers. You could call that messengers. And we could say, okay, messengers matches preferred method of contact. Okay, it's not going to let me select that. We can't map this field because there are no similar fields. So it does kind of know what's similar. So what we can do is say relations. We could map that to, it looks like there isn't a field in command for that either. So you'd have to figure out what you can connect there. So we're just going to leave that. And then you can also delete the connection between command and Google, and you can either save it for later if you're not sure you want to start syncing those contacts, or you can start syncing now. And it would automatically copy the contacts that are in command to Google and what's in Google to command and match them up. So we'll click on start syncing now, and it'll pop up with a warning here, remove duplicates from both systems. Yeah, remove duplicates. So remove duplicates from both systems so you don't end up in duplicates in both. Yeah, and this first one doesn't really apply to you guys. So we'll click Start Syncing. So that's the Google connection once it finishes here. And this may take a minute here. Eventually. And it says this may take some time, so I'm not surprised here. What I'm trying to find is how we can connect additional accounts here into PieSync. Now, while I'm waiting on that and while I'm trying to figure out how to do that, one thing I do know that I want to mention to you guys is if you're trying to connect your PieSync here to iCloud, iCloud requires what's called an app password, and it's going to generate that on your phone or in your iCloud account, and that has to be put here into PieSync. So if that's something you're requesting help for us to do, probably better to just call in for help for that, or else we're just going to send you an email that says, hey, call us. And that's for iCloud specifically. Almost anything else, we're not going to necessarily need a call. And it's syncing that. So let me close this here. And this is going to take a minute, so please bear with me. Actually, while we're waiting on that, we'll come back to it here. Office 365 here, I'm not going to be able to show you what the connection looks like because I don't have an Office 365 account. But if you do have Office 365 and you've got your contacts in there, you can sync your contacts between 365 and Command without going through PieSync and paying extra for that. For marketing automation, this is Facebook and Twitter and Google Ad Managers. Now, you notice we already logged into Facebook and Twitter up here, but that's just to post things on your business page. That's a regular post, not an ad, not anything paid. Down here at the bottom is where you're getting into those paid ads. You can compose an ad and get it ready to send and schedule it here within Command, and then it would post to Facebook, Twitter, or Google, and that would charge your ad account on whatever platform that is. The tool here in Command is free. You can set up as many, what are they called, ads as you want here in Command, but as soon as you actually go publish them, the platform, Facebook, Twitter, or Google, is going to charge you for publishing that ad. So what we would do here is click Connect Account on each of these here. And it looks like it's just going to automatically connect it to whatever Facebook account you were already connected to. Probably the same for Twitter. There we go. Here's a good message. Good thing for you guys to know. This connection to your Twitter account will only be successful if you've already started a Twitter ads account with your Twitter credentials. Furthermore, Twitter handles all payment activity. Please ensure that you have an up-to-date card added to your Twitter profile so that campaigns created from the Lead Accelerator are created successfully. So connecting to Twitter here will only work if you've already logged into Twitter and said, okay, I want to create an ad account. Whether or not you've ever actually posted an ad, you have to create the ad account within Twitter in order for this connection to work. So if I click on Authorize App, that's actually not going to work because I don't have an ad account in Twitter. But if I did, click that, and then boom, it's good to go. For Google AdWords, basically the same thing. Make sure you have a payment information there in Google. Like I said, it's Facebook, Twitter, and Google that are charging you. It's not Command, it's not KW. Just as if you had logged into Facebook, Twitter, or Google to post the ad, they are the ones charging you. So we'll click OK here. And we're going to use the KW email here. Now, I do want to point out, for ads, either AdWords or AdSense or anything to do with money at all, I want to make it very, very clear, you cannot in any way, shape, form, or fashion use your KW email because of the way that KW International has it set up. You can't buy Google Voice Minutes, you can't post ads, you can't earn revenue by showing ads on your blog or your website, you can't use Google Wallet, anything related with money, you can't buy additional Google Drive storage, anything to do with money, you can't do, cannot, it is impossible to do with your KW email. So actually, we'd want to go back here, click cancel there, and you want to connect it to a regular Gmail account, or if you've got G Suite, maybe through your custom domain in order to use the Google AdWords. So actually what we would need to do here, if this is a KW email, you'd actually need to use another regular Google account. Or anything that's not the KW email. You cannot in any way, shape, form, or fashion do ads through your KW email. It'll let you connect the account, but you can't actually post anything because it won't let you add a form of payment because it won't let you do anything with money. Is that clear? I want to make sure that's clear. If you guys have any questions, definitely send them over in the chat window. And then lastly, down here, we've got email marketing through MailChimp. My understanding here is that campaigns are not going to be sent from within the command system. They're going to be sent through MailChimp if and whenever KW International finally puts out some campaigns, some templates to use in MailChimp. Right now, you can, I believe, connect MailChimp and send some campaigns to your contacts that are here in command. But there are no templates that KW is providing for you to do that. You'd basically need to make those on your own, or maybe get them from Fiverr or from some other designer and plug them into MailChimp yourself. And if you need help with that, that's not something we're going to be able to help with actually, not currently anyway. So let's just connect that MailChimp account there. Oh, before we do that, I do want to point out in MailChimp, you can go log into MailChimp. What you can do is set up your MailChimp campaigns to come from your @kw.com email address. That way, when someone responds to that, it'll send it back to your KW email inbox in Gmail. You won't see it here in Command, you'll see it in your regular email. And that's a big thing that's different from eEdge, because when it sends campaigns in eEdge, it only ever comes from that @kwrealty.com address, which confused so many thousands of agents I can't even tell you. So here, the way that MailChimp works, you can connect that and it'll send from @kw.com from your email. That way you don't have to try to keep track of an additional email from Command the way there was from eEdge. And if you need help setting that up to send those messages in MailChimp from your KW email, we do have that. Let me get that for you here. There it is. Post that into the chat window here. That link I just shared with you guys there in the chat is where you can set your KW email as the from address in MailChimp. And I'm going to be adding that to my notes for the next time I do this class here. Continue. There we go, got that to my notes. So let's click on Connect Account here. And this assumes you do already have a MailChimp account. So we're going to log into that. Oops. Oy, never activated. Okay, give me just a minute here. Hi Neil, I see your email here. I'm actually not actually from Pennsylvania. I did some remote work for the York office for a little while, and that's why I'm a member of that market center. But I'm originally from Florida, and right now I'm in Kansas, so I would not know where Abbottstown is. So let me find, if you'll bear with me for just a minute, where is that link? Oh, I know where that link is. Excuse me. Gosh. You know what? I bet I used my Scott Leroy email here. Huh. Okay then. Yes, yes, I see Google. Thank you. This account has already been activated. So, oh, dang it. I got signed out here. Give me just a minute. Apologies here. Like I said, this is a brand new class. All right, let's try again. Oh, apparently I clicked Twilio. MailChimp. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now MailChimp is connected, and I can send campaigns through MailChimp to the contacts that are here in command. Alrighty, was that all the things on this page? Yeah, so let's come back to PieSync here. We're going to go to show details right here. It's going to show whatever accounts you've got connected in your PieSync account here. You can also click on connect more. So we can connect this to any of the things that were listed here. So let's try the option of, eventually, let's try the option of iCloud, see what that looks like here. Let's click on authorize. It's going to have us log in probably. There we go. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so this is what I was talking about before. Before you start this connection, it's required that your iCloud account has two-factor authentication enabled. More information about this can be found here. So if I click on that and open it in a new tab, we'd need the username and then an app-specific password here just for PieSync. So here's instructions on how to set up two-factor authentication. You actually do that within your iPhone, or if you've got a Mac, you can do that on your Mac computer as well. And so you set that up, and it's going to generate an app-specific password that looks a little bit like this. And that would, excuse me, that's what you would use to connect iCloud here to your PieSync. And remember, like I said earlier, you get one complimentary sync. The one that has the most contacts is going to be your free sync, and then anything after that, any other additional accounts you would need to pay for, and you would do that through PieSync. That's not something that KW manages, it's inside PieSync itself. Okay, so I'm going to cancel that because I don't really want to connect my iCloud contacts here. All right, so let's go try to find out where we can schedule a post here in, where is that? In command. Okay, so here in commands, we're in what's called the lead accelerator. Here on the left, it looks like a megaphone. We're going to click on post scheduling. And this is where you can create new posts to show on Facebook or Twitter. So you would do schedule a post here, and you'll type out your post. You can add pictures or whatever, from your computer, from KW Video, from the content library that KW provides, which apparently there's nothing there. If you have KW Video videos, it'll allow you to select that there. You can choose that from your computer. Let's try this picture of Scott. Nice picture there. We'll do next. Now you'll notice over here on the left, it's got the little F Facebook icon next to here, and then we've got the little Twitter icon next to here. If you only want to post to Facebook, only fill out the information in this top section. If you only want to post to Twitter, only fill out the information in the bottom section here. It also lets you know about the character limits on each of those sites. On Facebook, there's a 60,000 character limit, so you've got a lot of space there. But on Twitter, you are limited to 280 characters if you didn't already know that. You can also post pictures there. Now, down here, there's a link for consistent channel content. So what you can do is, it looks like, okay, so that's an option apparently. That's nice to know. You can switch back and forth between which one are you sharing to. So with consistent channel content showing here, that means you're posting the same thing to both profiles. If you click on it, it's going to change it to customize each channel. So you can post one thing to Facebook, and then you can post something else, or you can post to just one of those profiles there. That's nice to know. So let's leave it on Facebook here. This is, a test post. What is today, the 15th? Do that picture of Scott again. Anyone else thinks Scott looks like Draco Malfoy? Apparently you have to crop it. Oh, so what you're doing there for the cropping is actually choosing the preview when it gets posted. So you can change the cropping on that image there. So this is what it's going to look like in Facebook. So then down here, we've got actions of add to post queue, which is going to post Actually, we'll figure that out a second. Or we can post it immediately. So actually, post queue, you're going to choose when it's posted, or you can post it immediately right now to Facebook through command. We're going to add it to the queue. Yes, we want to add this post to the queue. That's why I selected that option there. All right, it's been added to the queue, so let's continue to the social suite. So here in the queue, we can, what can we do here? What are my options? Let's click on edit here. No. Okay, so it looks like what we do here is we create multiple posts, and what it's set to is daily posting. So if you've got 7 posts in here, it's going to post one thing one day, and then the next day, and then the next day for 7 days. You can change this apparently to more frequency options. You can also do weekly, and you can do that every certain day of the week, and it looks like that's your options. You're also choosing what time. Looks like you can post it multiple times a day if you want to. That's neat. And then you're probably going to have the same options for Twitter. So let's leave this here. So by default, it's going to post every day at noon. So what this would do is post tomorrow at noon. So should eventually show up here, theoretically right here. Oh, I'd have to switch over here to Thursday. That's good to know. See, that underline lets me know I'm on Thursday. So here at noon, here's my test post that's going to post here. Awesome. That's really cool. Okay, and you can do the same thing there for Twitter. You can also connect payment options here for those, what are they called? Platforms where you can post ads, Google, Facebook, Twitter. Past posts, you can see things that you posted previously. And you can also put together campaigns, marketing campaigns for ads on Facebook, Twitter, and Google. And you do that up here through Create New Campaign. But I'm not going to go through that. I'm sure it involves a lot of stuff that we don't have time for. We covered the additional accounts in PieSync. We covered creating a post in the Lead Accelerator. Yeah, looks like we're good to go. Just remember, eEdge does not work yet for the sync. It will eventually, hopefully, but right now, as of May 15, 2019, does not work. One person had a question about LinkedIn. Could you elaborate on that? I'm thinking maybe you meant in PieSync, but if LinkedIn isn't in this list, that connection isn't going to be there. Now, what I'm guessing is that even in PieSync, you're not going to have that option because the GDPR disallowed being able to export or connect or anything to do with what's that called? Contact information to get into your database. So if that's what you're looking for, bringing those contacts from LinkedIn into command, more than likely that's not going to be available. Let me see here. Yeah, LinkedIn is not an option here. Neither will Facebook be, because it's illegal for Facebook and LinkedIn and any other social media platform to allow contact information to go from their platform to anywhere else, including a database where you would essentially, technically, legally, be sending them spam, unsolicited email. These people on your Facebook friends list and your connections on LinkedIn never signed up for your emails that you would be sending them through command here and through MailChimp. That is the definition of spam. So I'm actually kind of glad that the GDPR disallowed that. Now, if you're talking about posting ads to LinkedIn, I think maybe eventually that might be a possibility. What you might want to do is we'll go over here to ideas.kw.com, and you can actually even suggest that as an option for KW International to add to command. You just log in with your MyKW information, and I'm going to search for LinkedIn and see if anybody else has posted that. Yeah, so there's several people that want to connect LinkedIn here. A lot of them are wanting to bring over the contacts, which is not possible, not legally. So what you might want to do is, Pinterest is another one that people want to connect so that they can post ads. Probably would be a good thing to add there. So you may want to create a post in here for post ads to LinkedIn or LinkedIn ad integration or something like that. Let's try add. Alrighty, it looks like we're losing a couple of viewers, which probably tells me people don't have any questions, but we do still have 8 viewers on here. That's 9 with me, but 8 viewers. So that sounds like it's maybe 8 people that are waiting for someone else to ask their question. That's not going to happen. You actually have to ask your own question. So definitely send those over there. This is going to be last call. I'll be turning off the recording in just a couple of minutes. Like we covered again just a minute ago, this will be available at slmtraining.com, hopefully today, but probably, but at the latest tomorrow. And if you do think of questions, connected Google successfully. Awesome, very good for you. If you do think of questions after the class or you have an aha moment or something like that, you can definitely send those to us at support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we can try to help with that. And then lastly, if you'd like to have the couple of notes that I sent you guys in the chat window there, especially that link for setting up using your KW email as the from address in MailChimp, just send us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com, and we can send you the link to download our notes for this class. Very easy to do. Oh, here we go. Is there any way to use PieSync to sync individual agents' contacts from Brivity? That is a very good question. I don't have a Brivity account, so I don't really have a way to check that. What you would want to do is go to PieSync, do that show details and connect more and connect that Brivity and see whether that's an option. What I'm thinking might be the case is very similar to connecting those Google contacts. It'll have rules. So you can say sync contacts if such and such, the column for the agent or something matches so-and-so agent is my guess. I don't have a way to check on that because I don't have a Brivity account. If you'd like to call in and maybe ask for me, my name's Robert, we can maybe give that a test and see what it looks like, but I'm not making any guarantees. We're just going to look at it and see what happens. So that's a very good question. That's going to do it for the connections and apps and sync in Command. We'll see you guys next time.